I think it's live. Why'd you have to wait and make sure? Oh, all right. This seems exciting. Yeah, well, it's gonna be. I hope. We actually did this, golly, 2 years ago? Over a year ago, we did Mega Man X. Same concept. He's dancing? All right, that must be live. Yeah, so I tried Mega Man X a long time ago, and it was just like, hey, let's take the Maverick bosses and turn them into TTRPG encounters. Not for a specific game system, just kind of generic. So no stat blocks. It's just like, okay, this one's kind of have a difficulty range and say like, yeah, he's supposed to be really tough, or this is on the lesser end, and then come up with some generic attacks like this one will freeze you in place and things like that. And it was pretty fun. I hadn't discovered Excalidraw at that point, so I was trying to do it in Word, and it was getting very finagly, and I didn't like it. We didn't finish, but I didn't want to pick up from where we left off so long ago, because I actually want to try it a little differently this time. So I just jumped over to Mega Man X2. You are existing 2 years ago? Well, you got a lot to catch up on. Hopefully the videos are getting better as time goes on, though. Hey, there's old Kelvin. I ain't seen you in a hot minute. I forgot what I was saying. So anyway, we're just gonna try Mega Man X2 this time. Believe it or not, I'm in PowerPoint this time, not Excalidraw. So I think it'll be fine, because it'd be nice just like to drop these in the Discord when I'm done, just a page or whatever. I'm like, hey, here you go if you want to use it for reference or something. But I had a thought for this one. So normally we'd start with one, look at what they do in the game and all that. Yeah, X1's great. It's definitely got some banger tracks too. But I will probably go back to it if this goes all right, because it is fun. But what I want to try with this one is take one of the bosses and maybe roll up a random setting before we get started, just for that one. Like each one will be a different setting. So I need to find, I kind of forgot to get a table before I started. So it could be like steampunk, Neolithic, cyberpunk or something, you know. I don't know if that's gonna complicate things, because like I don't want them to all be robots. Like they could be some kind of monstrosity or something. A howdy and a yeehaw. You done yeed your last haw. So I guess we could roll for the random, see which one we do first. Napoleonic, is that how you say that? I don't even know what that is. Is that like, I brain farted. What's the word? Colonial, I think's the word I'm thinking of. So yeah, let's try that. Let's make us a little roll table. Maybe I'll let one of y'all roll. But how would I know what you rolled? Alright. So one, let's do cyberpunk. It's Hamster. Talk about not seeing somebody in a long time. How you doing, man? I'm doing all right. Steampunk. When you throw the lasso, is that a yeet? Yeet. Oh. It's pretty funny. What are some other settings we could do? It's futurist, sci-fi. I guess we could do like, that would be different than cyberpunk. Weird West. There you go. Sci-fi, futuristic. That's when they would just be the regular robots that they are now. Yeah, Weird West. What else we got? I just put it in here because I like it. I said, yeah, that's what I just put in. Diesel Punk. Oh man, y'all have to help me out with that one. Cause I don't know what all that is. Now, if we can get two more, we can go up to a D8 and I'll roll it. I got my dice somewhere in here. with some more settings. I mean, a D6 will work, but if y'all, like I said, can get 2 more, we get up to a D8. And if we can get to a D10, we can do that too. Solar punk, I was thinking about that. I didn't know how much it would blend in with sci-fi and futuristic. But we'll put it on there. Alright, so we're shooting for a D8. Do I have a D8? Oh, that's a dumb question. I have all the dice. I think the question was more, can I get to a D8? That's a D10. I have a big tube of dice. D6 punk. We stole the sun from the sky despite the gods that have abandoned us. Diesel punk is early 1900s. Oh my goodness. Okay. Guys, you're gonna have to come up with either give up solar punk or come up with 3 more. I can't get to my D8s. I guess I could just roll it online, couldn't I? Okay, we can do that. Hey, there's Peter. You have one more idea. Weird World War. Ooh. Okay, you got me on that one. Weird World War. Stone Age punk using very basic tech to make bots. We could do that in the Neolithic one. And there's Glee. Alright, we have a D8. D8's worth. Can we get to a D10? And also, I think I'm going to start with... I really like this guy, but... Ray punk? I have no idea what that is. So many punks. Anyway, I think I'm going to start with the fire dude, because fire's easy, right? The crystal snail's alright. Maybe I'll just roll for these guys. Magitech. Okay, okay. Well, now you gotta get one more. And then we'll cut it off at a D10. Isn't that how they spell it in Final Fantasy VI? It's weird with a K. It has forever ruined me. Pulpy Space Fantasy Age. I like John Carter Mars. Ooh. Okay, let's do that. Spooky. Eldritch. Spooky. Okay. Let's roll up. Let's just roll. So there's 8. I can't get to my D8s. Alright. Let me find a dice roller. I have a link somewhere. There we go. Dice rollers. Actually, if I do this, I think y'all might be able to see it. Dice tray. Nope. Unfortunate. Oh wait, I know why. Here we go. Alright, so D8 for the bad guy. Oh no, they changed all this. Why is it so weird? I need a D8 and then I need a D10. Oh gosh, everything's reloading. Okay. Do we just ignore the D12? So a 2 on the D8. And then a 10. All right. Or an 8 on the 10, 2 on this. So 2. Oh gosh, we got wire sponge. And then 8, right? A D10 was an 8. Yep. Alright. Weird World War with Wire Sponge. That actually might be pretty good. Cassette punk, like the... Oh, is that what you call that in the first Alien movies? I thought it was just the 70s. Futuristic from the 70s perspective. You're really behind the stream. Uh-oh. Better catch up. It is also like Acton Cthulhu, which is super fun setting. Well, that's what we landed on. Stream lag for you just jumped 45 seconds. Oh no. You can barely listen to the stream. Shame on you. Let me check. Says the stream is healthy, so I don't know. I'm not getting any errors, so. Peter. We keep attaching punk to so many things, and I'm just realizing why that's an issue. Cyberpunk is about the cyber, but it's also about the punk, about rebels against the... Yeah, that's... Punk usually implies rebelling against something, so... Or, you know... Going against the grain, I guess. Okay, so let me put this up here for now. We'll put him right there. And I'll just grab my little text block. So this guy, Wire Sponge. Well, his game name is Wire Sponge. It's a weird name now to think about it, but that is what it is. I don't know if it's 2 words or not, but we'll put it right there. Wire Sponge. Punk. The lastest punk job. Oh, retrofuturism? Ooh. That would be fun too. So Wire Sponge, so this time I want to bring their stages, the levels you play in, into this too, instead of like just their abilities. So Wire Sponge in the game, he was hanging out in a weather control facility, like he could control the weather. That was his thing. But when you fought him, like that never came into play. That was just the level itself. So, you know, be super hot 1 second, raining and blowing you everywhere the next. When you fight him, he just shoots out some needles and throws those blades on ropes or whatever he's got. Not too exciting. He does, and see, this is the problem with Mega Man. When you're fighting the bosses and you use their weakness against them, it stuns them and completely resets their action. So if they're about to hit you, you hit them with their weakness, they stop, and then they restart the animation. So despite playing these games thousands of times as a child, I learned things 20 years later that they do that I never saw because they never got to do an action. So, like this guy, when I was kind of prepping this before the stream, I completely forgot he had this tail thing, because when you hit him with his weakness, that shatters. And it's like, oh yeah, he can like actually grab you. And then I was looking at the wiki, and there's things he could actually hack you. It's like, I had no idea he could do that. So, see you, hamster. Punk is rage against the machine. Weird World War, Wire Sponge, maybe an automated bot that sits. Well, yeah, that's what we're in, right? We rolled an 8. Weird World War. I should write that down. Weird World War. Maybe an automated bot that sets the defense for an exclusively like a living barbed wire and alarm system. Stun locking and juggling are cheap and needed. Yeah, it's like the boss fights, or at least your 8 Maverick boss fights weren't very exciting, but I still love those games. You didn't realize this was Excalibur first? I thought you just had a bunch of Mega Man characters. It's not. It's PowerPoint. We're in PowerPoint today. So it actually, if I bring this out, oh, you can't really see it. Those are my slides over there. So, gotta use PowerPoint. So anyway, he can shoot some thorns. When you get him down to... Yeah, he would also like grapple from the ceiling and with his hooks and hook into things. And I think he would pull you with them too. And then when he got low health, like a needle would come out of his head and lightning would hit him. And he'd kind of be temporarily invincible while he was doing that. And he'd do a little dance and then lightning bolts would come down. And then he'd go back to his regular stuff. Back to your roots. Yeah. I thought I would today because I was thinking, like, well, it'd be nice if I could, you know, do all this and then it's right here. And then I could just export it, maybe clean it up a little bit, you know, but export it and drop it in the Discord if anybody wanted it. Instead of just a big old Excalibur board. Those Excalibur files, if you save them, instead of just leaving them in your browser, if you actually save them, they get kind of big. Whereas PowerPoint's real good at compressing things. So, moves. We have bad typing. Blades on ropes. Needle shot, I think. Or I might be thinking of Sting Chameleon. I have to check that one. Charge up. Make lightning come down. Grapple with bladed ropes. How dare you forsake our Lord and Savior Scout? Hey man, you know, I'm just trying to shake it up a little bit. We might go back there. As you can see, the really bad thing about PowerPoint is you cannot pan. Like I can't hold the middle mouse button down and go around like that. Like I can go up and down, and then I don't even know if there's a shortcut to go left and right. Also got my big old shake, or smoothie, not shake. If you want some weird World War, then Hellboy and Conflict 47. I don't know that one. Wait, is Conflict 47 a TTRPG? I might have heard that one. Am I a heretic for never playing having never played a Mega Man game? Maybe not a heretic, but extremely disappointing. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Not really. I really liked those games growing up. Americans and Tesla weapons and nationalists as religious crusade. There's nothing more in America. Hey, there you go. Boop. Make it a different color. Alright, so we might have to go poke the wiki. Let me go Mega Man X2. Here we go. Bosses. Wire sponge. It was 2 words. My bad. All right. Oh, that's right. He can like... Can I... Let me try this again. Studio mode. Think that did it? Yeah. So he could... It doesn't show him doing it here, but when he was twirling that thing, your bullets would bing, bounce off of him. Oh yeah, deflecting attacks. Except for Sonic Slicer, which was his weakness. Strike chain. It would pull him into the wall and run you over. I thought he could grab you. Oh, this is what he does. He doesn't throw needles at you. He like shoots out seeds that make needles grow out of the ground. And then the lightning strike. Okay. That's what he does. It's a war game. It was really fun. Okay, maybe I've seen like the cover or something. I started with PS1 and Nintendo 64 generation. Hey, that was a heck of a generation. K-47 also has Soviets and werebears and sonic weapons, and the Hexes has zombies and gravity guns. That sounds like a good time. So he doesn't have needle shots. He has the siege shot. Grows sharp needle-like tentacles out of the ground. All right. He can't grapple you, but like, we'll leave it there because it makes sense. Seems like something he would do with the rope, like tie you up. And this is Weird War. Let's see. Stage. Weather control station. So that would be pretty potent, right? You got this big facility that's controlling the weather and messing up your troops and stuff, so... Unfortunately, I'm not really here, but enjoy some drive-by support. Pew pew pew. Alright. Support received. So let's say issue. How do I want to word this? Is controlling a remote distant science station that is capable of controlling the weather. The weather. The weather. This allows him to create hurricanes and vicious... I didn't spell that right. I thought I did. Vicious floods whenever he wants. He can also... Do we want to say he can like make it super hot? He could also raise the temps. I feel like that'd be OP if he could just scorch everything. Art sandwiches. He could also... Let's see. Change the vicious floods at once. Raise and lower temperatures. Etc. Good enough for now. Heat waves and storms can make flying around the weather control station. I'm saying this would be pretty risky or dangerous, pretty powerful. Let's make a note. Let's make a note here. Clarifier. Note. The station cannot do this on its own, nor can Wire Sponge do it on its own. The two of them should work together. That way, like, he has to be there and he can't just go out and say, weather! And that way, just not anybody can do it either from the station. So we'll just leave that fun little note right there. A little balance. He would be a nightmare to any Air Force, so having to fight on the ground makes some sense instead of just bombing. Yeah, you gotta, like, storm the station. So, that's your stage, right? So let's see him. What can he do? Remember, these moves got to be like kind of generic. Can't say, oh, it does 5 HP, you know? We don't know what system we're doing it in. I think the lightning one would be the easiest one to start with. So we'll call that low health rage. Not because I like barbarians. Just I don't know what to call it. When at low health. Wait, what do you call the... It's not just a needle that comes out of his head when he's low health. Conduit? A conductor. Antenna? A lightning rod sprouts from his head, causing lightning to strike him and everywhere around him, giving him a giving him a temporary damage and defense boost. Is low health already defined? It's just like whatever system you're using. So if it's like nuts or easy d6 or tricube, you know, after you get a couple hits on him, he'd probably be low health, right? Because you just have strikes in those. Versus D&D or something like that, you know, you'd have the HP pool to whittle through, and you'd be like, okay, you know, 30% or whatever. Petor, if you're still here, how does low health work in Tales from Elsewhere? I guess it would be the wounds you accumulated, right? Because as you accumulate them, even if it's a lesser wound, you push it into the next one. So I guess you could say there's also the stress too. I think that's what it's called in Tales from Elsewhere. You could do that too in there. Yeah, what Twice did say. So it's supposed to be vague. So ideally, Mr. Crabsoft, you could take these and use them in Words of Power. You know, might have to do a little fidgeting and fiddling to make it fit, but that's the idea. You can say someone is seriously injured or critically injured. There's also dying. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Exhausted is all their strain boxes are full. That's what I was thinking. And then that's right, because once you're exhausted, even if you did something that normally just strains you, it goes right to a wound, I think. So yeah, you could do that. It's like when exhausted or when at this level of wound. So you didn't want to say anything, but converting Mega Man bosses would take 30 seconds. Well, I mean, hey, that's when you know you got a great system. There's also a mistake in the Survivor Creation section of TFE. Oh, called out. So for Wire Sponge, it'd be when critically injured, X happens. Ha, X. I see what you did there. All right. There's some corny music. I like it though. Alright. See, he's like this mixture of the weather guy and a plant. Typos. I found one earlier too, but I wasn't gonna say nothing. I guess I should though. It was just a space was missing. No biggie. And I forgot where it was. Alright, so instead of shooting seeds, needle. Well, let's say spear tentacles. Can summon vine-like tentacles from the ground. Assuming there is. Does there have to be soil? It's not in the game because they're like robotic tentacles. Actually, so I think we need to define what this guy is. If he's Weird World War, is he a machine? I mean, obviously this guy is a machine. Tentacles. Are we gonna have him a machine, or is like the Hellboy setting? He'd be a demon monster kind of thing. I think somebody was saying this kind of crosses over with Cthulhu-y, right? But we have that as a different one. Over 100 typos. Hey, that's not bad though, because that's a lot of text. That is not bad at all. Yeah, so do we want him to be like half person, half machine, or is he gonna be like a monster, demon, full-on machine? I am not so familiar with Weird World War outside of Hellboy. That one was mostly like real world with some magic and demon stuff. And weird creatures, I guess. Golly. Classically, they're literally called the Robot Masters, right? Yep. They are, excuse me. A mech suit for a person inside. Ooh, yeah, that's like how they fuse with the station. So maybe it's the suit and not the man. But then anybody could do it. So maybe he has become one with the suit. So... I like that. Why? Oop. Nanobots animating a plant they found. Whoa, that sounds too fancy for World War. Weird World War. Wire sponge is a man forever trapped in a special mech suit. And a special human-sized mech suit. Yeah. Man forever trapped in a special human-sized mech suit. Giving him incredulous power. Not really, but maybe the mech is covered in vines because even to his size of war it's dangerous to go nearby, but he's still... Maybe. Check this out. Wire sponge is the combination of man, machine, and nature. Cursed plants had completely overtaken. Everyone were just completely overtaken. A broken mech suit. So I now need a name for the guy who discovered this. Suit was discovered by Jimbo. Temporary name, placeholder. And upon trying to retrieve it, was trapped, was entangled and trapped by the plants. who then ate, corrupted, merged, fused, merged together, giving the trio newfound powers. Something like that. Yeah, I got it perfect. Maybe the mech's covered in vines. I already read that. Sick Gundam game. We're going to the occult side of WW2 right away. Nice. There is nothing permanent as a temporary trapped and entangled. Yeah, man. Got entangled, then they pulled him in. It's super trapped. Did I just hear the doorbell? It'll ring again if they need something. Wire sponges, combination, man, machine, and nature, cursed plants, completely everything. So this is like how we got weird powers, but it also needs the suit. It also needs the person inside. Hans, I like Hans. Upon trying to retrieve it, was entangled and trapped by the plants, who then merged together, giving the trio newfound powers. Yeah. Okay. So there's your lore. Obviously, you can make it sound better than that. There's no one on the porch. Very good, very good. Thought I heard a very faint dong. So this... So, okay, so I did all that so I could decide whether he's a robot or not. It barely works. Can summon vine-like tentacles from the ground, assuming there is soil, dirt. The tentacles are not very long, but will stab anyone in range. Yeah. Lore, snooze. Alright. That's what we're here for, man. So we got the low health rage, spear tentacles, blade whip, right? So this guy's actually like would be hard to get close to, because he can make tentacles come out of the ground. He can make lightning bolts come down when he gets low health, and his weapon is a blade at the end of a vine, basically saying. Which is kind of neat. It's like you got to close the distance. Lore creation is the best part of the process. I'm inclined to agree. So let's say vine blades. Bladed vines? Oh, blades are attached to the end of lengthy vines, allowing him to swing them wide for hitting multiple foes or striking someone at a great distance. There you go. You never know how deep to go. Honestly, I get it so much lore the players will never even see, and then they are seemingly accident. Why can't eggs? So, I have a really old video on how much world building is too much. And I honestly don't remember what I said in it, but like, on the... I keep hearing blaze instead of blades! Here we go. We'll do this just for blaze. Blaze! Yeah, make it huge. Anyway, I was gonna say, like, on the writing kind of thing, side of things, typically you'll make a huge amount of world building so you, the author, knows how it works, and that way you can be consistent when writing your story. Same thing in the video game world. Like, they will... If you ever watch the interviews or dig into the files and stuff not used, or listen to interviews usually, you know, they'll talk about all the stuff that they had to do, and that's how they, or at least used to, make their video game story consistent and the mechanics and whatnot. And I'm sure the same thing happens on the TTRPG side of things, but you don't cut it out. You just determine, okay, how much of this do I need to give to the player for things to make sense, or give to the reader to make sense? So the creator gets to do a ton of world building, but what makes it to the end product is significantly less. So it's like, how much do you need? It's like however much you need to make it work and make sense for you, so you can be consistent. Now, the hard part is figuring out how much your audience needs, because everybody's different. Matter of fact, this came up with the editor lady I guess I am going to be working with. Somebody is submitting something that is Warhammer inspired. And I was like, well, get ready for like 6 encyclopedias worth of knowledge to get you up to speed on the actual story. You know, I was just making a joke. But like some people, like the Warhammer 40k universe, those fans typically love all that world building and lore and all that knowledge. And it's pretty cool. And then some people are just like, just leave all that out. I don't care. Just give me the action, you know. Specifically when they ask. Just keep going until they tell you to shut up. Maybe don't do that. You want the long or short answer? There you go. While you try to string together some BS. 2-4 cow holds TF2 together. You can't delete your folder or the game breaks. World building is just 200 cows keeping your story together. That's right. Yeah, swords and stones. Supping stones. Yeah, Blaze likes lore. Alright. Low health. I mean, that's pretty good. He doesn't have to be a super difficult boss. I mean, last time we did this, I tried to say how difficult they should be, but that's up to you, man. It's your game. It's your world. I'm just living in it. So Blaze on rope, seed shot, charge up. Do we do any... Do we want to do anything with the reflections? Because like he could twirl that thing and pew, 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 it would bounce stuff off of him. This is a weird world war. People probably have their 1911s. So maybe we do something like deflect. Sounds kind of OP. Can twirl his bladed vine to deflect shots. Now see, that would be like in TFE, you could say that could be a reaction, right? He could like maybe a reaction type of skill or something. I don't know. I can't save. I guess D&D, that could be a reaction that he could do once per round. Can twirl his bladed vine to deflect. We'll just leave it right there. Now if it as written, that's like, oh, he can just deflect everything all the time. It's like up to you to balance that out. Twirl that vine to confuse opponents or initial confrontation. Could do that. How about this? Can twirl his bladed vines to deflect shots as he steadily approaches his target. So like, even though he can go pretty far with his rope blade thingies, he could just sit there, twirl, and menacingly walk towards you. He didn't have a lot going on. So Mega Man like did random things sometimes with bosses. So this guy, his weakness was this cutter blade thing, the slicer. And in the game, not in the art here, but in the game, he has like these hoses on his side like this. And if you kill him with the slicer, those, he'll pause and like they'll boop, pop off and his body splits like this. You know, when he does the blowing up animation, like the top half is just sliding off. It's like, okay, it's like one boss got a special death animation. Because why not? And in the first Mega Man, if you used this guy's weapon, which was very similar, it was like a bladed boomerang thing, like his little thing right there. If you used that on this guy, I think it would cut his trunk off, but it was not his weakness. Like, it didn't barely do any damage to him, but you could cut his trunk off for some reason. It's like, okay, like this guy you used on this guy here. It's so weird. Just why not put that in there? Now he would, yeah, if you use this guy on this dude, that was his weakness, and that would actually pop off a couple of his shields. He'd shock him and they'd jump off, but that's about it. Just a couple weird interactions. I'm not a huge fan of I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings guy, but I saw someone explain the other day that the mithril armor Frodo gets is Legolas's baby clothes. 100%. Sometimes a man just needs a world bit just to exercise some creative muscle. Exactly. Like, you don't have to use everything you make, but sometimes you're just having fun, you get carried away, and you come up with something, and you're like, oh, I could use that. It never hurts to do it. Well, I guess if you spend all day world building and not actually making anything, it might hurt, but troll it fine. Okay, I saw that. As long as the lore bits don't get in the way of the rules, don't pull a Shadowrun and you're good. I haven't played Shadowrun. Isn't it like super crunchy? Or is it just like Warhammer levels of lore? Also, Twice Dead's losing it. You played more MMBN than actual Mega Man? Oh, Mega Man Battle Network. I never got into those. I played one because I had an emulator on my phone, and I think it was the first one. It was pretty fun. Cut weapon could also be used to cut arms off. Yeah. Cranberry. Cut weapon could also be used to cut arms off the launch shock. Oh, could you? Could you cut off some of his limbs? So those boomerangs could just do all kinds. See, that was what I was saying at the beginning of the stream. Like, despite playing those games hundreds and thousands of times, there's still those weird little interactions I never saw because I always, you know, start with this boss, get his weakness, boop, use it on that guy, use it on that guy. You know, the cutter wasn't the octopus's weakness, so I never used it. I think right now that I think about that, I feel like I saw somebody do that a couple years ago. It's just like, oh, in all my years. 2 and 3 are pretty good. They kind of went off the meta deep end, trying to make a balanced game. I believe it. Squirrel's Blade. Shadowrun is infamous for having one of the most confusingly organized rulebooks. Oh, really? To the point the edited down German version was the one getting fan translations instead of the OG book. Wow. So confusingly organized, so like it just didn't flow well. Like they'd mention something that wasn't explained till chapters later or something. Or I'm actually, so my next video is a review on Cosmosaurs, and there's a couple pages right at the beginning that are very confusingly laid out. It's a very simple game, so you can figure it out, but when you look at it, you're just like, why? Why did you do this this way? This is so weird. So, I get to yammer about that in the video a little bit. Okay, so... Oh, there's a little something. From Peter. This is what you're talking about in chat. Expectation versus reality. I'll have to check it out. Mr. Peter. I have an expectation versus reality video, but it was a spoof. It's a very old one. Grenade rules are tucked away in the vehicle rules, and there are constant micro stories in the middle of the rules. Wow. So Adventurous, which I actually just made a post for, because Adventurous is getting, or got a big ol' update, which is pretty cool. But yeah, and I pointed this out to the guy, and I think in my original video too, your starting health, like how much a character starts out with, was nowhere in character creation. And I think it was tucked away under the death mechanics or something. It was just like a little note, you know, like characters start with blah, 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 in the middle of a paragraph. And it's just like, because we had so much trouble finding that when me and my buddies played it for the first time. We were making our characters and we were like, how much health do we get? So, sometimes it just happens, man. It's a pretty cool game though. I liked it. There was something else I was gonna put here, I thought. Not important, I guess. We'll put this down here. What color should we make it? Because color is very important, right? Maybe a blue. Players will have to make their way through wire sponges controlled weather to confront him in his weather station. Once at the top, they will fight him face to face. Face to face. Sure, why not? So up to you how you want to get to him. And there's wire sponge. Look at that. Super easy. I wish I had like some reference pictures for Weird World War or something on here to get the vibe. Players will have Okay. I see what you're saying. They could just go the other way, right? Alright, let's roll up another, I got rid of my die. If I bring this up. Dice rollers. Treaty dice. No, I want dice tray. Because it's got my dice already. Alright, here we go. 6 on the D8. 4, 5, 6. The moth! Oh man! Morph moth. So really, he actually has 2 forms. Not a lot going on with the first form. I like wire sponge because his weapon is similar to a grappling hook I carry on hike and mountain climbs. Whoa, you like the theme? He is a pretty cool dude. Like when you think about him, when you're playing the game, it's like nothing. But sit down and think about it. He's pretty cool. So can I get? Oops. 5. Remember that. That's our setting. Actually, can I just duplicate that and then have the roller there? There we go. What'd I say? Morph moth. I don't know if you can see that tiny little form right there. Can I not get a better picture? Or can't? If I like zoom in. Gosh, that's awful. Look at that. Oh, it's tiny. Oh, it won't work. It's a WebP. Dang it. I hate WebP files. I've had so many dumb arguments this week, I really gotta stop engaging. Why are you arguing with dumb people? Don't do that. Oh, I guess the argument could have just been stupid and not the person. Alright. So, what'd I say? 5. Remember 5. Neolithic! Aw, man. Oh, man. Okay, so in the game, he is master of the junkyard. So maybe master of the boneyard? Also known as the graves. Morph Moss, yeah, so this is his first form. He's just like this weird cocoon thing slinging around on a rope. I guess we could skip that. Or merge it, I don't know. Morph Moth glides, scattering sparkling scales. And then shoots a rainbow laser at you. He gives you the Kamehameha. Just... a whopping 8 points. So yeah, you set him on fire. That is his weakness. Pretty understandable weakness, right? Being set on fire. I feel like it's okay to be weak to that. Oh, let's see. As he absorbs scrap, he grows larger. He does? I didn't know that. Again, because I just used the burner on him and it like knocks him off, right? It just sets him on fire and stops everything he's doing. As a bagworm, Morthmoth goes through a set pattern. First he attacks by swinging from a thread, then he spins and the scrap on the floor, then he hangs from the ceiling to vacuum up scrap. As he absorbs scrap, he grows larger. I had no idea. Once he reaches his maximum size, he metaforces. If enough damage is dealt before that point, he will yeah, that's how I always went. Man, learning things today. I wonder if purpose of larval form is to swing wrecking ball and smash junk. Speculation? Yeah, see, I don't know. Something that might be cool is manifesting the weakness as taking away an ability. Manifest. Ooh, I see. It took me a minute, but now I see what you're saying. Could be neat. So if this is Neolithic, we can make him an actual bug thing. So maybe he's underground eating bones, and then he gets a certain size, and then he becomes something, right? So the players have to, Crabsoft, try and kill him before he eats too many bones. And maybe he likes fresh bones, so if he kills a player in that stage, he gets fresh bones and just immediately turns into his next stage. That's why I want to do more streaming, man. I like hanging out with y'all. Good time. But it also puts me on the spot because then I have to make things and do stuff. So, it's catch-22, I guess. Isn't that what you call that? Alright, so let me... just my sticky note here. Neolithic. We did say if we wanted to, we could use the Neolithic as the punk or whatever. I way back there in the chat about machines made out of primitive parts and stuff, so we could do that. That is an option that is on the table, or we could make him a legitimate monster. He turns into Mothman when he comes out. Could do that. So let's say, this is just spitballing. I acknowledge it's getting written on the board, but it's not written in stone. Starts off as worm larva thing. Let's do this. Dang it. Keyboards are hard. Starts off as a worm larva thing. Yosemite's cool. I like that. Actually, that'd be, you know, kind of neat if these were gonna get shared, posted around. It's like, here's the setting, kind of vibe this is for. By the way, here's some reference images from a TTRPG that uses this setting. I should get paid for this. Let's see. Starts off as a larva, eats bones to grow bigger, stronger. I see your DM. After so many bones have been consumed, it morphs into morph moth, whatever that is. Heading to lunch. Catch y'all later. See ya, Mr. Peter. Ooh. Well, that first one's like perfect. The minis are super cool, though. I gotta show y'all what is being shared here. Although, dang it, if I do this, I cannot tell you how much I hate Discord and WebP files. I hate them both. Y'all can see it here, though. I'm on my phone, so I couldn't send a lot of it. That's fine. Like, these are really good. Those are some cool minis, man. I like those. Hey! Looky here. It's nuts. Oh, man. I need to figure out if I can legally call my game nuts or not. British Tin Men. Yeah. Okay. I feel like this one, though. I really like that one. I'm gonna copy that. Yes, yeah, Nuts. I've known for a while that Nuts it's a war game, but I don't know if it's different enough. That I can name mine Nuts, since technically Nuts is an acronym, and I don't think it is on Nuts with the exclamation mark. Trench Crusade. Okay. I think that one gets by because he's doing this machine suit kind of thing, so. You could storm his station in one of those. Oh, I didn't realize. I wasn't paying attention to the stuff I was writing over here. It's getting cut off on y'all's end behind my camera and on the little tray. Religious World War I with a little World War II. Cool. Trench Crusade. There's another Crabsoft out there, Japanese game. Oh, man. I was thinking it sounded kind of familiar when I first saw one of your comments. I was like, Crabsoft. Like, that's... Isn't that a video game company or something? So... I have no idea what they make. I figured it was just me thinking because there's like a couple crab games making the rounds now. There's that roguelite one. I forgot what it's called. And then there's like some Souls-like crab game. He's super small time too. Alright. Take his name. So should this guy like... What if he eats bones? And since he is Morph Moth, if he eats something living, that mutates him. So like, he's the larva, and normally he's supposed to eat bones and become Big Moth. But he ate a person. He tried to get their bones while they were still alive, or, you know, weren't just bones, still had the flesh, and that's why he's got the arms and legs like this. So he's a Mothman, as it were. Crabs blew up a few years ago. Why not? Just gotta wait my turn for squirrels. So that's something. Yeah, more bones he eats, the bigger he gets, and then if he consumes something freshly dead or still living, that causes him to mutate into a mixture of a moth with that. So he could, I think, just a crazy guy would leave him mothling. So I'd say he could eat a dinosaur in that case. A moth dinosaur. Or maybe that's the danger, right? So like, it's a larva eating bones, and then it does seek out humans, and that's what turns it into this specifically. But the idea is like he gets bigger the more bones he eats and stuff, so you want to get him early because then he'll become big enough to very easily consume a human, and then so if somebody goes, how about this? It will seek out a human to eat. If it eats a human, it will turn into a moth. Typing. Mothman-like thing. I like Tech Crusade's art, but I don't... Oh, Trench Crusade. My bad. I like Trench Crusade's art, but I don't trust the IP holders. Who the hell sends minis with resin traps? Well, I don't know what a resin trap is, but I'll take your word for it that it's bad. The hardest part of these streams is that I think up super sick boss fights that are not relevant to your run. That's fine, man. Just throw them ideas out there, you know? Somebody might like it. I might steal it. Hey, really? These streams are just for hanging out. That's why I like them so much. See, I really like Moss and Stone, those streams, because we're making a project together, but the problem is that is a project I have to finish. This is just like, yeah, whatever, whatever we make, we can use it. It's fun. Moss and Stone has to go the full circuit, right? I gotta get an artist, I gotta get the book edited, I gotta get the book made, I gotta do Kickstarter. So, as fun as it is, it does have responsibilities. He's gonna be in a boneyard. Various piles of bones can fly. We'll fly to each pile and eat the bones, and then use related ability. Yeah, I'm just here to chill these. Y'all cool dudes. We are. We're all right. Parasitic moth that bonds with the spine. Ooh. That would be cool. Put a little bit of alien into it. So larva, bones. Instead of eating the human, it burrows into it and then does what you're talking about. But then it would be small. Didn't like get in you, get on your spine, turn you into. That's pretty cool. And say, okay. So you could do that, and it's not, say, I was thinking single entity threat. So it's like, okay, it's got to be a big larva and a strong one. The problem could be that there's lots of them. And like they're really dangerous when they're really small, and then when they turn into this, yes, they're dangerous, but at least you can see it, right? Fight it. Resin traps are holes inside the miniatures where the liquid resin stays liquid. It builds gas. Oh, extracts on the mini. Okay. Yeah. That is a problem. There are holes inside the miniature where the liquid resin stays liquid. Oh, yeah, man. I didn't know that was... So you probably know this. Like, I did manufacturing for a long time. I didn't do a whole lot with molds, but you talking about that, it's like, oh yeah. The injection molding and stuff like that. Yeah, I never really got into injection molding much. I was exposed to it a little bit, and there was a whole module in the software I used for that, and I got into it once to help somebody who was the mold specialist. Like, he was the mold like designer and worker, but didn't know how to use the software that I used, and it had the mold stuff. So like we were tag teaming something. It was interesting. Inject my molding. Dude, like, molds are... I will agree, Games Workshop's minis are expensive, but I know how much those molds cost to make those minis, and it's like... it's like, there's a reason they charge that much. Granted, as many as they're making and as big as they are now as a company, they could lower their prices a bit, but it's not cheap. Those, especially the detail those guys have. Like, to get the chainmail, the individual link, look like it's individual links on the chainmail and a mold is insane. Can still be a big larva, but uses the caveman as a pupa. Don't know the English word. I mean, I guess we could look up bug stages. Let's see. Stages of a moth. Okay. You got an egg, a larva, pupa. Could use the caveman as a pupa. That would be interesting. It comes coolly out. I mean, hey, you know, the world's an interesting place. That would be kind of cool. You could... So you hunt them at this stage when they're, you know, going around doing their thing. But then they'll get somebody at this stage. So I guess, I don't know, they burrow their way into you and just cocoon you in there with everything and turn your body to mush with them. Oh gosh, that's gross. And then, yeah, when they bust out of the cocoon. Okay, that's gross. I like it. So many bones, it will seek out. Okay. A human to cocoon with. That's not how you spell cocoon. How do you spell cocoon? I was just looking at it. Oh, it's an O. Okay. Expand the life cycle of the bookworm. The bookworms are very silly. They're not official Moss and Stone lore. The last one shot we did, the Caravan Escort, that's like an actual Moss and Stone setting. The other one was just for fun. Let's test out things. Seek out a human to cocoon with. Once the cocoon process is over, morph moth emerges. A moth with humanoid limbs. Okay. To keep the humanoid form with wings, they don't discard the human. They use their bodies to eat more bone. Our stomach acid should be able to dissolve bone. Should. But does it? Your bookworms got me to make and post some really bad art. No, I mean, they did their job, but like, they were just a silly, fun thing. Like, and I just wanted to have, shoot, we might have made that before you found the channel, but like, the whole stream was just me using Excalidraw to draw. Despite draw being in the name, it's not really meant for that. I was like, hey, it'd be really funny if we made all our enemies in Excalidraw. So let's do it. It was a sillier one shot. Let's see. So it cocoons with the human. So normally when something cocoons, right, it just becomes liquid and then rearranges itself. So I mean, you could still liquefy the human but keep the bones and build around them. Very weird. Our acid can dissolve bone, but it doesn't stay in the belly long enough to do it properly. Ah, interesting. I won't ask how you know that. That smoothie's really good. All right. So let's think about the setting. Are we gonna have like, I don't even know if I need this. Are we gonna have any kind of magic in this Neolithic setting? The fuck are you? I told you it was a big old smoothie. Look at that. Ooh, it's so good. It's, what did I put in here? It's a mango, a banana, a few strawberries, a little bit of lime juice, almond milk, and peanut butter. I put some peanut butter in it this time to make it a little more meaty, filling. It doesn't look good. I'll admit that. It's a very gross color, but it's quite tasty. Mango is the worst flavor known to man. Ban this man from chat. The human is liquefied, the organs replaced by the moss, wings opening out of the holes that kept it entered the spine. Ew. Bug eyes coming out of the skull, out of the human. I can dig it. I'll make my life easy. There you go. Now for the setting, I guess magic doesn't have to be involved. And if there is magic in this world, it will not affect this guy. You could if you want to. So the problem is, he kind of got some boring attacks in the game. Mango tastes like it's trying really hard to be fruit, unlike the tobacco. I like mango, man. It's good. Y'all making fun of me for my fruit choices? Just for that, I'm gonna make a mango monster. Yeah, he just like sprinkles powder. Maybe poison powder? Or not poison, but something that like dazes you and confuses you. Maybe we could shoot bones out of him. Banana is named Trying, but faces the fruit. But Ace is the fruit taste. Self-inserts are so 2000. I don't know. Have you seen modern media? Well, a lot of self-inserts going on. Oh, man. Yeah, powder. What is... Not hallucinogenic powder. Well, you know what? We don't... Something powder. A strange powder drops from its wings, disorienting its prey, causing them to become dizzy, see things that aren't there, or in some cases even become paralyzed. Watermelon tastes like it wished it was born a juice. Watermelon is water you can chew, basically, with a little bit of flavor. Powders like this way it gets in your lungs. Oh. Ooh. Dang. You like watermelon? I mean, I do too, but they taste like something got diluted with too much water. Now, I don't know if y'all know this trick, but you can like get a watermelon, cut a little hole out of it, or a little, yeah, it has to be a hole. So got a little hole in it, and you get a bottle of your favorite liquor and put it in there and set it upright and let it drain for like a whole day. That's pretty good. You might be drowning in dry land close by this month. Yeah, you could. Hate watermelons. Dang. I think Twice Dead's just a fruit hater. Alright, so let's do this. A strange powder drops from its wings. Getting into the lungs of its prey. Makes it hard to breathe and slows them down. Yeah. That could be causing you inaction, your movement speed. Alright. Now he's got the thing he does with his laser. Is he going to be a fire-breathing moth? Pomegranates, pineapple, and berries. Dude, pineapples. Those are good. Might be the best fruit. Because, like, they're good in things you would not think they're good in. Like cooking with them. It's very good. Grilled pineapples, delicious. Except blueberries. Oh, you harvest them since you're 13. Okay, I can understand that. Blueberries are very good. I have a couple bushes in my front yard, and man, those are delicious. But yeah, I would not want to harvest them on a large scale. What are we doing for the laser beam? That's gonna be a difficult one, because can y'all? Yeah, he just shoots a little. Pew! Psychedelic beam. There's nothing. Still weak to speed burner. I don't know. See, because he is a monster, so it wouldn't make sense for him to, if we're not specifying there's magic in this world or anything like that. It'd be weird that he could just shoot a thing. Laser beam, maybe it pushes the liquefied human juice through its body. Ew. Ew. What if he shot a bone out at you? Or I guess he could just... I mean, it'd be completely different, but I was gonna say, if he can, like, make the stuff to make a cocoon, can he just shoot stuff out at you that way and string you up? Rainbow lasers are cannons in real life. It's just the death ray. I haven't seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or whatever. I need to. I really need to. Also, I really need to sneeze. Keep feeling a tickle in my nose. Let's see. The manga JoJo is longer than One Piece by page count. Didn't season 2 of One Piece just... Not one... Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of One Punch Man. Your comment makes more sense now. That's a lot. But I was gonna say, didn't One Punch Man season 2 just completely flop? Like, the budget got cut 2 or 3 times. Cut in half, then cut in half again, then cut in half again. Just shoots its bone dissolving acid. That's a good point. Yeah, I was say I feel like we're gonna have to take a lot of liberty with this dude because the boss in the game does so little. Season 3 flopped. Okay, I thought it was whichever one like just recently came out. I thought it was just on the second one. Spit shot. We can make it a little interesting. Acid spray. Morph. Moth. Holds both hands out. You can do like a Spider-Man. Shoot it out. Nah, it's come out of his palm. Spraying flesh melting acid from his palms. Season 3, because experienced animators moved to other projects without being replaced. That's smart. After landing 3 hits, it will shoot a random result from this table. That's pretty cool. Let's do this. I'll put this over here where you guys can see it. I'm thinking something where he swoops down on you, like kind of latches onto you, and or it's like a vampire bite kind of thing. He's already spraying us with the acid. He's eating bones. We gave him that. So maybe just the vampire bite, right? Swoops down on a player and grapples them. If successfully... I know how to spell successful. That is not how you spell that. That is so wrong. If successfully grappled, Moth will fight the player to recover. Yep. Now he's a vampire moth. And not just because I've been reading Dracula lately. been consuming a lot of vampire media. Alright. And I like the idea, like, if character or enemy does things so many times and this thing happens, that's really fun in video games, but like kind of a pain to track in TTRPGs sometimes. Is it worth reading Dracula? I'm liking it. It's long-winded, especially when Van Helsing gets to talking, but like it when I hit that halfway mark, it really opened up, like, because you're following multiple different people, and that halfway point, it all comes together. And I will say it starts out kind of slow, kind of boring, but only because the book is so old and we know what Dracula is and all that. Like, there's no suspense or surprise there. Like, soon as it starts out, and it's like, you know, chapter 1, I'm going to Dracula's castle. You're like, you know what that means. So a lot of that is kind of lost due to time and it being so popular and vampires catching on and all that. But I think it's pretty darn good. It's long, though. It is long. And I read Ender's Game. It had a similar problem. I read it recently. And I won't spoil it, but there was something that I think was supposed to be kind of a shocking reveal, but I saw it coming a mile away because now it's a concept that has been used many, many times, but I think when that was written, that might have been one of the first times that was used. So still a great story, but like I was getting the impression that was supposed to be a big reveal, and I was just like, oh no, it's like I knew that's what was going on. So kind of gave up reading after a bad sequence of trying to read tech books that ended up being a guy saying nothing. Oh yeah, dude, self-help books and learning books, so many of them are just like 95% fluff and could have been one chapter. It's just like, oh man, I've read a lot of them, but they say a lot without saying anything. Not all of them, some of them, but I'm not a big reader. I really got the reading bug like late last year for some reason, so. In Squad Game Season 1, the very first time the bad guy comes on screen, I said, that's the guy behind it all. My wife's like, how? I don't know what I'm going to read after Dracula. But anyway, Mothman. Morph Moth. Powder, acid spray. I'm going to make a note. Let's do this. Morph Moth is not meant to be a... I don't know what this critical threat. I'm afraid if I say large threat, it means like physically large. Not meant to be a super dangerous threat on its own. Still, yeah, I don't know how to word this. It's like a normal threat, but the little bugs are what's dangerous, because they'll sneak up on you when you're sleeping and get you, and then you turn into Mothman, and then you can be dealt with fairly easily. Mid-boss. Morph Moth is not meant to be a boss level threat. Mid-boss at best. The larva stage is what's more dangerous since it can burrow into someone while they're sleeping. And then it's too late for the host. So maybe you need to go take out a nest of these things. Yeah. Barone. Someone? Yeah. But yeah, circling back to what Blaze said about it being just sad. I saw a couple things and it was like the frame rate for One Punch Man got drastically reduced, and then I saw a post where they just took an image from the manga and that was on the screen. You know, like they were doing a slow pan and they didn't position it right, so you could still see the crop from the page. Like, it was pretty lame. Never run a modern or spooky game, but I'm trying to do both tomorrow. Ooh. Have I done modern? I've done spooky. I've made spooky sessions. It's not that the game itself was meant to be spooky. Modern. What is the most modern I've done? Oh, I did Urban Fantasy a couple times and Nuts. So that's like modern plus slightly future. So, I'll put this here now that you guys have seen it. Any advice for spooky? Want to play AFF again? What is AFF? Adventuring Friends and Family. Advice for spooky? I guess it depends on the type of spooky you want. Like, do you want spooky monsters incredibly hideous and I'm scared to look at it, or spooky I don't know if I'm gonna make this out alive? Like, I had a spooky air quotes session of D&D. The first campaign, the party was in this part of the dungeon. It was a very light duty water temple from Zelda, and there was something in the water and they didn't know what it was and they couldn't really see it, so they were trying their best to stay out of water, and I had various rooms for them to get through. It's like, okay, you know, if we slip, you know, this thing tries to grab us. And then there was parts they're like, oh man, we have to get in the water to like hit this switch and make this thing happen, you know, things like that. So like the unknown danger was what was spooky. Like, they were aware of it. This is a body horror monster. This morph moth would do numbers. Yeah, I would say it's pretty gross. Advanced Fighting Fantasy. I don't know that one. Is it like Final Fantasy? So anyway, like, the spook factor can be in the choice. Like, instead of just forcing them into a corner, you know, they were playing that temple, dungeon, whatever, and they had to make the choices. Like, okay, they could sit there and think, but they knew, all right, there's something in the water, and they're trying desperately to figure out how not to get in the water, how they can get around it, and all this stuff, and they're still not sure what it is. So I guess the spook would be in the unknown. Alien's a good point of reference. That leaned in very heavily on the unknown. It was an unknown creature. You had no idea what it was, but you barely saw it for a lot of the movie. The first one, anyway. Meanwhile, I grab a rope knife, man. Yeah, that was a barbarian, man. I take it on. Ain't nothing but some gigantic eel. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I have the words of power. I'll say Super Metroid, I think, is really good spooky reference. I know it doesn't seem like it now because, you know, it's old pixel graphics, but like, it does such a good job with the atmosphere, with its very simplistic music that it uses, or the lack of music, and just rain falling sounds, but also, even though you have a very powerful suit that you're in, you don't have to worry about ammo or anything. It's still kind of spooky because you're very alone in that world. Like, it is just you. And it drives that home right off the bat. Then you start off in that space station, it's like, oh, everybody's dead. So, big believer that low fidelity, better immersion. The more your mind completes, the more... Yeah. Yep. Let the players and the reader fill in the blanks. When I make stuff, I'm a big fan of that. Because I'm lazy. But when it's somebody else's material, I like seeing everything. I want all the details, man. Show me everything. So. But I agree. Like, you can get way more immersed when you're kind of having to fill in the blanks a little bit. You get more invested. You caught me. One lazy man to another. Well, Twice Dead, you got any cool Neolithic references? See if I can find one. Neolithic monster. It's just gonna show me dinosaurs. There you go. I don't know what this is from, but... Ah! It just gave me the link. Copy image, not copy image link. There you go. There's like a little Kraken thing gonna get him. Stonehenge as a sacrifice pit. Ooh. Or basically rude. Stonehenge sacrifice pit. That's pretty cool, man. You're on garden duty. Picking in blueberries? Is it blueberry season over there? We got a good long while. Oh, there's some AI cavemen. That's what I want to see. Boy, oh boy. I'm not really getting any... I don't think that's real. I think that's AI. Children of the clay. What if moth was a biblically accurate angel? Wouldn't be very mothy. Oh, there's a random picture of Scholargrim. Well, I'm not finding any good pictures. Just dinosaurs. Which is understandable. I guess it's understandable. And mammoths. You know, gotta have those. I do like The idea, though, of players finding some cave paintings that are trying to show like the bugs growing, eating bones, and then getting into a human and turning them into the moth, that'd be really cool. If you could draw that and show it to the players and like, you find this in the cave. Like, oh no, what does that mean? Well, I guess we'll call it there. We really didn't do much with him, but we got a cool wire sponge. So, do we roll for the next one and then do another stream starting with that? Then the players would have to look at the walls. Yeah, well. We failed to do that, didn't we? Oh, Morph Moth. Yeah, he was always kind of a lame boss. He had a cool level though, which is something I forgot to take into consideration. So he had like big old junkyard, and he did have like this. There was a mini boss in that one. It was like a zombie robot comes up, and you. Yeah, it's pretty much what we just made. Sort of. Is that... Can I just... There's this little bug that gets in a robot, like puts it together, and you shoot the robot and it falls apart, and the bug hops out, and you try and kill it before it burrows down in the ground and raises another one. I think stage, here we go. Does this show it? Yeah, this thing, old robot. And then it had these robots just kind of hanging. Of course they would drop down, but and these junkers. So I'm wondering if Morph Moth could be almost a necromancer. I should have leaned into that. I forgot about the level. Yeah, like once it... Ooh. What if like when it becomes Morph Moth, it can like raise up skeletons? That would be weird. That would be more magic than whatever. Just basic monsters. Excuse me. They have limited mobility as they are junk. Rude. You know, sometimes fire aimed shots of junk. Yep. Look at that. There's your bug. This is not how I thought they look like based off the shrine. Well, there you go. The necromantic bug moth. Might have to make that change to it. I can do that off stream. I think we'll wrap it up there. I would design the moth as more of a druid, but keep the necromancy theme. I love fungomancy. Ooh. I like a good fungus. If we wanted to keep magic out of it, that would, I mean, it'd still be kind of magic-y, right? But that would be a good way to do it. That, like, mushrooms and stuff. Maybe instead of the bones, they eat those mushrooms. they eat those mushrooms and then they cocoon inside or with the human, and some of that mushroom stuff is there, and that's how they control and consume and get a whole human host and merge with it. But then when they do that, like instead of the acid sprays shooting spores or something, and then you can control them. Why not the caterpillar controlling the corpse before computer cocooning? That's a good idea too. They could just get in there and... But why would they want to, though? Wouldn't they just want to cocoon immediately and become morph moth? And that would be neat. And I guess if you didn't kill them in time, then they become morph moth. Then it's like, so you could have that stage where it's basically this guy, and it's a normal, kind of easy fight. And if you don't do it in time, he becomes morph moth. Then it's a hard fight. The corpse is the cocoon. Maybe it's not dissolved by the stomach acid of humans and turn the stomach into a cocoon. Caterpillars need to flatten up before cocooning, so they puppet the human to eat bones. Ooh. Oh man, like what if you could have it in you and you didn't know it? And you just started eating bones. You're like, I really want bones for some reason. See, we leaned into the eating bones thing just because the boss was like sucked up the junk and it made him bigger, and we just kind of went from there. So it's not super critical. Which technically in the game, the junk is just robot pieces, and he's like consuming those. So that's why I went to bones. But like, it's just something that eats people and then becomes one. Maybe. And say, what if it left something behind that caused the mushrooms to grow on the thing it wants to control? You got a hunger from bones, especially fresh ones. I like it. We're on to something, but like I said, I was about to close it down, so... Hang on to those thoughts. Feel free to drop them. Do it in the, which I thought I had it open. The stream and voice chat. If you got any ideas, drop them in there. And then I'll kind of polish up that page off stream. And then I guess next time we'll move on to the next guy. Or we'll go over it and then go to the next guy. That'd be horrifying for a player. Just tell them that. Let them do with that information as they will. Maybe even do a low roll of permanent damage to their health unless they cave in. Yeah. It's like a ghoul going around into tombs and eating corpses. No one knows that the bone gnawers have caterpillars inside them. The bone gnawers, yeah, man. They're just cavemen. They don't know no better. That's the Neolithic era, right? Hey, munching on bones, that's normal. Sending this to your Discord. Very good, very good. Oh, man. Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. This is a couple hours. So we'll close it there. Maybe get some real food in me. We only did 2. We did like 1.5. So let me do... We did him. We did him. And I'm gonna do this, so I don't have to count next time. 3, The little bubble crab. Flame stag. I thought I was going to start with him, but I didn't. Or magna centipede. Crystal snail. There we go. Bonar with your accent sounds. Bonar. Okay. Yeah, that gives me an excuse to stream again. So until then, I guess I'll see you around. Let's see, what's today? Today's Tuesday. We will be doing Moss and Stone Thursday, which I'm very excited for. As a matter of fact, let's see which way. All that. I don't know if you can see it. I guess I could make myself bigger. Yeah, all that. Scribbling on the board. I had an idea while I was on the road. I was talking to Glee. We were driving somewhere, and then I came home and had to scribble it all. That's my Madman board over there. So, lots of fun stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Twice Dead's gonna like it. I hope he'll be there for it. But until then, I'll see you around. See you next time on Thursday at noon, my time.